What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. All right, guys, real quick before we go on, new set of codes have been sent out to all brand new supporters. If you are not supporting, click that support button, get yourself in and get yourself some free codes. I want to say a big shout out to the top 100 right now that are currently in the support program for this season. Starting off with Kokodai, thank you so much. NIDs, ASU64, more NIDs, Bond, Reynatis, Nightmare, a couple more NIDs here, Jokers, NIDs, Lucy, shout out to Lucy. Still sticking up. Shout out to Forsaken, of course, always being there, my man. A couple more NIDs over here. I hope I get your real usernames, guys. So Travis, of course, always been a huge supporter, and also the owner of the paid win account. A couple more NIDs over here. Mega Cartel, All-Star 1228, more NIDs, a lot more NIDs. Master Mix, D'Angelo, damn, I haven't seen you on the list. Welcome, bro. More NIDs over here. Dan Burrito, always a pleasure. See you in the Discord as well as in the guilds, as well as in the comment sections. And same with T-Pro, same thing. Cosmic Win, Dawn, Dark Vegeta, a couple more NIDs. Malik, Killed by Noob, I see you everywhere. A couple more NIDs, Fat Ninja, Marty B, McNasty, more NIDs over here, and many more. Mask of Comedy, more NIDs, Zion Z, Genesis, more NIDs, Grandpa, a couple more NIDs, Blazer 44, and some more, including my boy over here, Mal's. Listen, I'm gonna be real with you guys. This program here means a lot to content creators, so I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who's joining, everyone who's spent, everyone who's free to play, everyone who's supporting. Thank you so much for choosing me as your content creator to support. It means the world to me, and I hope I see more of you guys on this list. And again, that live stream for supporters is going to be coming very soon, as well as the community live stream, that podcast that Zaf and I are planning to do. So again, if you have not done so, guys, click that support button. These codes have been sent out this morning to everyone who was supporting. If you missed it, obviously more will come very soon. These ones don't expire till February 7th, so we got a lot of time. So don't worry, more codes are coming, plus 3 more down the pipeline. So again, just want to take this time to say thank you. All right, couple things to talk about here, folks. Number one, season 2 of the actual return of the anime is here. That's right, guys, we are here. There it is right there. Season 2 is here. Now, I'm going to watch this because it's already out, and then I will give you a full review and my takes without any spoilers. I'll give you the good, the bad, what I thought about it, and what I like in terms of its direction and what it covered in regards to that, I guess, episode, but not really going through anything spoilerish. I'm hoping at least I don't do that. A couple things to note with these reviews: I won't be able to show you the actual videos because there's copyright, obviously, so I will just do some stills here and there, just talk about it, and hopefully get you guys hyped for the newest upcoming season. Now, this season, as I mentioned in a previous video, will of course bring new players into solo leveling Arise, and I'm hoping and praying that the devs do something in regards to commemorating this big release. We've seen nothing yet, and I'm very surprised. So there's that to look forward to. Now, speaking of solo leveling Arise, I do want to go over the top units everybody should be focusing on right now, especially for the upcoming WOBL. Just so you guys are aware, I did speak to a few folks who have some insight. It does look like, in fact, it is going to most likely be Light and Fire. I was really hoping Alicia would be there, but let's talk about some of the units you should be leveling up and focusing on, of course, and then Isel coming out very soon, or Isel, or however the hell you say her name, is going to be coming out very soon, and a lot of people are wanting to go for her. She is going to be most likely a fire-based attacker with some form of a new gimmick or some sort of a gimmick, but I do want to talk about existing units right now that you should kind of focus on if you have not done so. So let's get into that and talk about the top WOBL units that everyone should be putting their money on, whether it's fire or light. I'll be right back. All right, guys, back here again. So let's go with the most popular assumption here, that the new WOBL is in fact going to be fire and light. That's what the leaks say. I was hoping it'd be a little bit of water because of Alicia's story, but that may not be the case. Who knows? They may change it, right? So take this with a grain of salt. But if we are going to be sure about one thing, it is for sure going to have light. I think that's been on everyone's agenda. We all know that that's what they're going to focus on most likely, right, over anything else. Now, with that being said, it is important to remember a couple things. These light units that I'm going to speak about are some of the best units in the game, and whether you're using light or not for light content, these units will in fact carry you throughout the game, element or not. Okay, but there is something to say about fire. Even though it is the crappiest, I mean by far the crappiest element in the game, that's looking to change very soon with the release of Iso, then Kanai, and then Goto, who is actually the only one up in the air that we don't know what element he's going to be. It'd be crazy to do 3 back-to-backs fires like that. It looks like Fire's coming in with a big, with a bang. So we're gonna go with the fact that it's Light and Fire right now, but because Light is so powerful, Fire really can be neglected for a little while longer. And then looks like in March, Fire might yet again rear its ugly head through, and this time you may actually be forced to use some Fire units. So we know Netmarble promises 2 things. Number 1, they will no longer make it a gimmicky WOBL where 1 unit is a mandatory unit for that fight. So for example, Meilin, when Vulcan had a shield, you of course could have used Dongpu, but at the time wind wasn't part of the element. They eventually added that, allowing you to use Dongpu eventually. In this case, that gives me some at least clarity on who you should focus on. So obviously the top 5 units here to focus on. Okay, first off, Thomas, 100%. If you are a new player, if you're an existing player, Thomas should be pushed to A5, mandatory. He is going to be your main damage dealer, and he is by far the best damage dealer in the game. Thomas is going to also be one of the best supports in the game for SJW. So we're going to do this 2 fronts. We're going to do this as the best support in the game, as well as some of the best units. Okay, so as a support unit, what he does is it provides a massive shield to SJW, but also increases the crit hit rate and critical hit damage by 10% as well too for 25 seconds, and that is a massive boost to all damage. Doesn't matter who you are, what kind of SJW you're running, that is going to be a big deal for you. So Thomas is going to be your number 1. Your number 2 is going to be your breaker, and that is going to be Chairman Gun Hee. That's right, Go Gun Hee will be your number 2. You should be focusing on him for sure. Not only is he one of the best units in the game, almost impossible to kill, he's also the best breaker, next to I say Harper, but for Light, obviously the best breaker, and also a stellar buffer, debuffer, and DPS. If you don't know what I'm talking about, he not only does he increase the light damage that you do based on how many light units you have on your team, but he also increases their critical hit damage. He also increases their critical hit damage on A5 if the opponent doesn't have has a bar, and also increases their QTE damage as well too when Will of the Fragment is used. So very, very, very powerful, and not to mention he's he's almost impossible to kill. And if you have him A3, you're getting an almighty breaker from an ultimate. So you can't sleep on Gun Hee. These 2 are going to be your main 2 units that you're going to want to focus on, and they will bring you to the promised land, quite literally. So definitely put effort into those 2. Okay, so Thomas and Gun Hee. Now, when it comes down to the 2 other units, or 3 other units, this is up to you how you go about this, okay? And this is going to clearly be based on your account. So first one we're going to talk about is Cha. Cha not only is a great DPS, but she also brings a couple things that may be required in the fights. Now remember when I said the fights might not be gimmicky, that doesn't mean they might not have any gimmicks. So for example, if there's any recovery in this bosses, any of these bosses heal, Cha is going to be a must-have because of her unrecoverable skills, right? She can do right over here the unrecoverable, which removes any healing from the target. We don't know if that's the case, but in case it does, she's a must-have unit, right? Obviously. Now, her dancer skill is also very powerful. It increases her attack and her critical hit damage by 8%, stacking up to 3 times total. Stacking up to 5 times total, depending where you have her in regards to your advancements. And then, of course, the Waltz of the Sword, which is incredible too. She can do the move very, very often and is very fast at stacking those up. And not to mention her ultimate hits like a truck. And she also has Branded. Branded is a massive, massive buff, which you definitely want because it increases your critical hit rate and critical hit damage on the opponent by 12%. It's huge. So she is going to be a stellar unit to bring to any fight, but she's not going to be the number 1. Thomas still takes the cake on that one, but she will have her uses in case there's any gimmicks like that. Now, the other 2 that we're going to talk about very simply is going to be one a universal unit, and that's Min. Min, of course, increases all of your power gauges, does healing, gives you guys crit hit damage, damage increase. His weapon also increases damage. Overall, one of the best units in the game when it comes down to support, but he may actually take a back seat in this case to Akari. Akari might actually be the unit they're all wanting us to bring to this fight, and the reason why Akari is so good here is she has a couple different ways to power up Thomas and to power up Gun Hee together. So if you place these defensive units together with her and you have her advancement high enough, not only does she give you guys more stackable light damage, not only does she increase the damage you do to the opponent, but she also has at A4 the ability to get yourself more defense and provides a shield, which both of them actually work really well off of. So incredibly incredibly powerful unit, especially for the light team. I know a lot of us were kind of ignoring her. They did buff her attack speed, which made her more viable because now she's stacking things much faster. So the top three really at the end of the day is probably going to be Akari, Gunhee, and Thomas, with Min and Chop playing a backseat role in this case. And again, if you don't have the Akari, Min will easily do a good replacement for her, and I think that's where you'd want to focus on. All right, now that's the light team. Now the fire team, unfortunately, again, we don't have much in regards to fire, but there are some notable units you might want to focus on, specifically one in Emma. Emma is going to be your breaker. Now, in case you don't have a Gunhee and you don't have a powerful breaker and you're looking for the only fire breaker in the game that's worthwhile having, it's actually Emma. And Emma's actually a stellar character overall because she provides shields, buffs, and she is a fantastic AoE clearer and actually a really good DPS overall for fire. So she's going to be probably your main fire unit, of course, going around and jumping in with Isol. We don't know much about Isol yet, so until we figure it out, Emma's probably your number one. Your number two should for sure be Yuseyun. She's the best fire DPS in the game at the moment with the ability to crit. You know who we're talking about, Choi. So with the ability to crit, she's going to be one of your better fire DPS. But you guys can see right away from going through the list here, Choi, of course, is there. Fire really does lack everything and anything this game could offer. It has gotten to the point where it is the laughing stock. And if you had a choice to go between light and fire in a WOBL, why the hell would you choose fire, right? Well, that's what they're trying to make Isol become. They're trying to make her become the reason why you build fire. And I'm pretty confident that fire will be also the next following WOBL, especially with the amount of fire units they're planning to release. So there are units to definitely build right now, and there's units you can definitely build in the future. If you are looking to build a fire team, right now the only reason why you want to use fire in any shape or form is going to be for POD, right? Path of Destruction. Is that what it's called? Power Destruction. Sorry, power, not path. Power Destruction, and obviously Guild Boss. So Choi plays a decent role in Guild Boss, and Emma honestly plays a good role in BOTs, and that's Battlefield of Times. Outside of that, light team will carry you all the way on this next WOBL. So focus on the light team, but obviously put a little pin in fire team for the future. There is one unit I obviously didn't talk about it because I don't have her, and that's Gina. Gina is definitely, I'd say, the top tier focus on fire, especially if you're going to need to have support. And what we're hearing is everyone is going to be an attack support. So if you look at Gina, Gina is actually that attack support. So you're going to probably want to build her at some point or another, because she does actually provide full-on attack support for units with all of her skills. So very, very important to remember that about her. She is built to actually give quite a few different things like mana MP regeneration, also increases team members' attack and fire damage with her skills doing very much the same thing. So increases attack by 15%, increases fire damage by 15%, etc. Right? So very, very important. I think she's going to play a pivotal role in the future. So I would put her, actually, to be honest, number 2. Emma and her, 1 and 2. Yuseyun maybe number 3, especially with Isol coming. Yuseyun might completely be someone you never use at all and just focus on those 3. So Gina, Emma, and Yuseyun. So that would probably be where I go until Kanai comes out, and then we figure out what Goto is, whether he's a breaker, a tank, whether he's even fire at all, right? So there you guys have it. Those are the units you want to focus on. Those are the top units currently for WOBL, especially if we have fire and light. Light is almost 100% at this point, so just focus on your light team, put a pin on fire for the next upcoming few releases, and see where it takes them. Hopefully fire gets some honestly excitement and reignition to make it worthwhile building. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.